I want to save you a whole lot of money today because right now there's a very good chance you are about to spend it in exactly the wrong place. You feel slow, the pipeline feels thin, and so the reflex kicks in. I need more leads, I need to run ads, I need a new website, a new funnel, a new agency, a new source, and you are getting ready to pour money into the top of a bucket that has a giant hole in the bottom of it. Here's the truth almost nobody wants to hear. Most small businesses do not have a marketing problem. They have a follow-up problem. You're getting more interest than you think. It is just quietly dying on the vine because nobody is chasing it, and you cannot see the leads you already lost. So they feel invisible, and the missing money feels like a lead problem. It is not. It is a follow-up problem wearing a marketing costume. Let me prove it to you with a number. Study after study finds that roughly half of all leads are never followed up with even one time. Not once. Somebody raised their hand, said I am interested, gave you their information, and then heard nothing back. And of the sales that do eventually happen, a large majority take 5 or more follow-up attempts to close. Now sit with those two facts together. Half of leads get 0 follow-up, and most sales need 5 touches. That gap right there is where your money is going, not to your competitor, to the void. So today I want to give you 3 moves to plug that hole before you spend another dollar filling the bucket. And I promise you, this is the cheapest money you will ever make because you already paid for these leads. Let us get into it. Move 1. Find out what actually happens to a lead after it comes in. Most owners have no idea. They know leads come in somehow and sales come out somehow, and the middle is a black box. So here's your first job. Trace 1. Pick a real lead from last week, a real person who reached out, and follow the trail like a detective. When did they come in? Who saw it? How long until somebody responded? What did that response say? What happened next? And most importantly, when did we stop? Let me tell you what you are going to find, because I have watched owners do this exercise 100 times and it is always the same gut punch. You are going to find that the lead came in on a Tuesday afternoon, sat in an inbox until Thursday, got one generic reply, the person did not answer immediately, and then nothing. Forever. No second attempt. No call. No check-in a week later. That lead is not dead. That lead got ghosted. By you. And here is why this matters so much. The average business is quietly losing more revenue in that black box than they could ever add with a bigger ad budget. You do not have a traffic problem. You have a leak, and you have never once looked directly at it. So move 1 is just to look. Trace the path of a real lead end to end and be honest about where it went cold. You cannot fix a hole you refuse to find. Move 2. Build one simple follow-up sequence and make it automatic. Now, the reason follow-up does not happen is not laziness. It is that it depends on a human remembering on a busy day to chase someone who did not respond. And that human is you, and you are slammed, so it does not happen. The fix is to stop relying on memory and build a system that follows up whether you remember or not. You do not need anything fancy. You need a simple, written sequence that fires every single time a lead comes in. Here is a starting shape. Attempt 1. Within minutes, a fast response acknowledging them. Attempt 2. Later that same day, a different angle, maybe a question. Attempt 3. The next day. Attempt 4. 2 days after that. Attempt 5, the following week, a simple, are you still looking into this? 5 touches across about a week that go out no matter what. Let me give you a real example. A landscaping company I worked with was convinced they needed to double their ad spend. Instead, we built a 5-step follow-up sequence for the leads they were already getting. Same leads, same ads, same everything. The only thing that changed is that nobody fell through the cracks anymore. Their close rate went up by 1/3 in about 6 weeks without spending a single extra dollar on marketing. They did not find more customers. They stopped losing the ones they already had. The key word in move 2 is automatic. If the follow-up depends on you feeling on top of it that day, it will fail, because some days you are not. Write the sequence down. Put it in whatever tool you have, even if that is just reminders and templates. Make it so that a lead coming in triggers the machine, not your memory. That is the difference between a good week and a good system. Move 3, and this is the one that quietly doubles everything. Speed. How fast you respond to a new lead matters more than almost anything else you will do, and it is not close. There is a mountain of research on this, and it all says the same thing. The odds of connecting with the lead drop off a cliff the longer you wait. Respond in 5 minutes instead of 30, and you are many times more likely to actually reach them and win the deal. Wait an hour, and for a lot of businesses, that lead is already gone, either cold or talking to someone who answered faster. Think about it from the customer side, because it is obvious once you do. When somebody reaches out to you, that is the single hottest moment of their interest, right then. They have a problem on their mind, and they just decided to do something about it. If you answer while that fire is still burning, you are the hero who showed up. If you answer 2 days later, the fire is out. They have moved on or cooled off or already found somebody else. Same lead, completely different outcome, and the only variable is the clock. So the third move is to treat speed as a system too. The first response does not have to be perfect. It does not even have to come from you. It just has to be fast. An instant acknowledgement that a real human will follow up shortly beats a beautiful reply that arrives on Thursday every single time. Speed first, polish second. Because a fast okay beats a slow perfect when there is a customer on the other end deciding whether you care. So let me pull this together, because I do not want this to be a nice idea you nod at and forget. Here is your homework for the week, and it is one lead. Just one. Go trace a single real lead from the last 2 weeks all the way through and find the exact spot where the follow-up stopped. Then write down a simple 5-touch sequence you wish had happened instead. That is it. You are not rebuilding your whole sales process today. You are finding one hole and drawing the patch. Because here is the real difference. A business that chases every lead like it matters is playing a completely different game than one that lets half of them die in an inbox. Same marketing, same leads, same product. One of them is compounding and the other is bailing water and calling it a lead problem. And the only variable is whether you decided to follow up. So before you spend another dollar trying to get found, go win back the people who already found you. Trace the lead. Build the sequence. Answer fast. Stop filling a leaky bucket and go fix the hole. Now, if you want the templates to actually do this, the follow-up sequences, the speed to lead scripts, the simple tracker that shows you where leads go cold, that is all waiting for you inside the Small Business MBA. It is genuinely free. No card, no trial, no catch. Everything you need to stop leaving money in the inbox. And if you are someone who runs operations for a living, if building the systems that catch every lead is your craft, then I want to point you somewhere else too. We are building the National Board of Operations Professionals, the first real standard and credential for operators, and we are building it in the open with the people who actually do the work. If that is you, come get involved. But whatever you do this week, stop blaming the top of the funnel for a hole in the bottom. Go follow up. That is where the money already is. I will see you in the next one.